Okay, so no measurements here are necessary. We are going on consistency. How thick is this sourdough starter? That's what we're looking for today. So don't worry about a kitchen scale. You're not going to need it, not for this video. For reference, I just put in 2 cups of our plain flour, and I am going to pour in some water here slowly. What we're looking for is the consistency of thick pancake batter. So I'm gonna mix this and slowly add in more water until I get to that thick pancake batter consistency with no dry spots. So you can see my flour is still dry. I have batches of flour that isn't completely moist. So I'm gonna add in more water. If you add in too much water and you think it is too thin, go ahead and add in more flour. Thick, it's a little chunky, that is okay, but that is what I'm looking for. Now all we're gonna do is I'm gonna put my lid on. You can drape a kitchen towel over yours if you want. I've done in the past is I just drape a towel over it. This is to stop anything from falling into it, but it still gives it some room to breathe. So this is also a great option. But for me, I'm putting my top on. I have a hole here in my pot to let airflow flow through. And we're just gonna set this in a warm spot on our kitchen counter, preferably not next to a kitchen window. And that's where it's gonna live until tomorrow. So step 1 is done. We're on day 2 of our sourdough starter. It's been sitting for a little over 24 hours. Don't read too much into it, just at some point the next day, okay? This is what my starter is looking like. There's definitely some bubbles there. If yours isn't this bubbly, this active, don't worry about it. It usually isn't gonna start forming some sort of bubbles, looking kind of bubbly and stuff until day 3, 4, 5. It really just depends on the climate of your home. If it's colder, it's gonna take a little bit longer. Just so don't read too much into it. If it doesn't look like this, don't worry about it yet. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna dump about half of this into our garbage can, and then we're gonna add more water, more flour until it gets back to that thick pancake batter consistency that we got yesterday. So don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be equal parts. Water equal parts, flour equal parts, whatever's in this jar. Just dump out about half of what's in here. And we're gonna add in some more water, some more flour, put the cap on it, put it back where we did yesterday, and I will see you guys on day 3. So let's do this together. So we're adding in our water and our flour and mixing it. Just mixing it really well, making sure there's no dry parts in here, no dry flour, nothing like that. We're looking for that thick pancake batter like consistency. Like that, we're gonna put the top on this and put it back on our counter just like we did yesterday, and I will see you tomorrow for day 3.
Okay, starting off for day 3, you can see I have a little bit of hooch there in the middle. That's that line there. That is just the alcohol forming as our sourdough starter starts to develop some bacteria and things that the sourdough starter needs to be able to give us all of those amazing like loaves of bread and cookies and all that stuff. That's completely normal. All that hooch means is that the sourdough starter is hungry. I didn't give it a good enough amount of flour yesterday for it to eat overnight. So today, to remedy that, I'm just gonna add a little bit more flour, try to give it a little bit more of a feed, and it'll have more to eat, more sugars and things to help it get on to the next day. We're doing the same thing for day 4. You can see it's really watery on the top. That is good. The sourdough starter is doing what we want it to. And if yours doesn't have all of that water, isn't all liquidy, it doesn't have that hooch, it's not bad. Okay, so just don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing and feeding, discarding, feeding and discarding until we get to a point where your sourdough starter is lifting and falling.
You're gonna hear Bluey in the background, but my sourdough starter that we've been making is finally ready to make a loaf, so I figured I would bring you guys along making a loaf for that as well. I keep missing the peak on it. It's been ready for about 4 or 5 days, but I just haven't been great about hitting it at its peak. which is fine. I'm gonna show you guys how I go around that. I'm just gonna add a little bit of yeast into this, and it'll help give it a little bit of an extra kick, a little bit of a boost to make sure that it rises all the way, but you're still getting the benefits of an bulked sourdough ferment, and it works really well. So let's go ahead and I'll show you guys how I'm doing that. I'm putting 320 grams of water, 320-ish grams. How you're gonna know that your sourdough starter is ready and active and bubbly is you're gonna want it to float in this water here. So I'm gonna re-zero out my scale and add in 100 grams of sourdough starter. Mine isn't super at its peak, it's past its peak. So mine isn't gonna float as well as I would like it to. But that's okay. Okay, so here's my yeast. I'm putting in a super little amount. It's just gonna help give it a little bit of a rise if it needs some help. If not, it's not gonna hurt it to have it in there. Add in some salt, 10-ish grams, which is a lot of salt. It feels like a lot of salt, but. Now I'm gonna add in 100 grams of flour of choice. I'm using good old all-purpose because that's what I happen to have. And then while I'm putting my flour in here, I'm gonna feed this sourdough starter right away so that it can get up to do and bubble and do all the great things so that we can continue to use this. If I didn't want to use it, you could put it in your fridge, but I would highly suggest once your sourdough starter is actually established and you're making bread, I would leave it out on your counter for about at least a couple of weeks. I'd say 3 or 4 weeks, feeding it, just getting it really great, really healthy before I'm putting it in my fridge. But that's me personally. You could always put it in your fridge. I don't think it's gonna hurt anything, but at the same time, I'm not a sourdough expert, so don't quote me on it. Find somebody who's more resourced in that than what I am. So flour in both my bread here and in my sourdough starter. And then we're gonna start with our stretch and folds and things for this bread to finish it off. Remember, I'm not an expert. I'm not really an expert in anything, especially bread. But maybe that gives me a little bit of room to speak on it. It doesn't have to be super overcomplicated. It doesn't have to be overwhelming if you don't want it to be. Another question I get a lot is how time consuming it is. And that question is kind of hard for me to answer because it really depends on like you, how busy are you, and what do you consider busy? Like, are you working from home? Are you a stay-at-home? Then it's probably a little bit easier to get into a routine and a rhythm of it. But if you're away from the household and you can't be on it all of the time, then I would think it's a little bit more difficult. Or if you do work but your schedule is always changing, then that could also be a little bit more difficult to get into a rhythm with your sourdough. Feeding schedules and baking schedules and things, just because your schedule is always changing. So when you're home is different and when you're working is different. So I really do think that it just depends on a lot of different factors. But the cool thing about sourdough is once you do get it established, you can put it in your fridge and just kind of let it sleep and do its thing in there for a really long time and pull it out when you're ready to bake. So another option would be if you don't want to start your sourdough from scratch, you can always buy one online. I know that's an option through a lot of different places. Or you could hit up a friend and ask for some of their starter. I've given away batches of my sourdough starter to a couple different people already in my life and make little baby sourdough starters for other people, and then they can put that in their fridge right away as well. So you have options. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna let this sit now that we mixed it up for an hour-ish. Remember, don't think that's super strict. If it's a little over an hour, don't worry about it. If it's a little under an hour, don't worry about it. Don't overcomplicate it. We're gonna come back and do our first set of stretch and folds and do that 3 or 4 times every 30 minutes or so. Then we're gonna give it a little bit of a nap on the counter and then put it in the fridge for an overnight bulk ferment. So this is taken care of. I'm gonna put a little bit of flour in my sourdough starter here. It's really loud here today. I'm not discarding it now. I'm just going to feed it. Once my sourdough starter is established, I hardly ever, actually never discard anymore. I just add. Pretty much every time after I'm using it, I'll feed it and get it back up on the counter for future use.
Once we get to this stage, every 30 minutes, we are going to come and do a set of stretch and folds on our sourdough here, which basically means we're just gonna play with it a little bit. All right, we're gonna pull it over on itself, we're gonna fold it on itself, and we're gonna do this, like I said, 3 times every 30 minutes or so. Don't freak out if it's a little over 30 minutes, if it's a little under 30 minutes, just whenever you remember, go ahead and do a little bit of stretch and folds. Then after your 3rd stretch and fold, you're gonna let it sit for an hour. Remember, if it's over an hour, it doesn't matter. Then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pull our sourdough into a rectangle of sorts, fold it hot dog style over on each other on both ends, roll it into a ball. I go ahead and put mine in a tea towel with some flour on it into a batted-in basket. If you don't have a basket, a mixing bowl works just fine. I've done it plenty of times. We're gonna wrap that up in the towel, put it in the fridge to bulk ferment overnight. The next morning, we are going to preheat our Dutch oven in our oven to 500 degrees. Once your oven is preheated to 500 degrees with your Dutch oven inside of it, you're gonna drop your sourdough in, go ahead and give it whatever kind of little cut you want. I'm partial to an X. We're gonna put that in the oven and bake it at 500 degrees for 20 minutes. Then after 20 minutes, we're gonna take the lid off of our Dutch oven and cook it for another 15 to 20 minutes, depending on your oven, at 450 degrees. At that point, your sourdough is done. You can go ahead and pull it out, let it cool, and enjoy your first sourdough loaf. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you for taking the plunge and going ahead and making your first loaf of sourdough, because it can be an intimidating thing, but I hope this video shows you that it doesn't have to be. Don't overcomplicate it, and bread is bread. You can always try again tomorrow if it doesn't come out to your liking, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys